Yes, we're live now. I'm excited. Guys, how you doing today? It's Transcend birthday 12. I'm excited. I have Mom Cynthia in the room. Mom Cynthia, how you doing this evening? You're looking so beautiful.
Thank you. I'm doing good. Hope all of you doing good and very happy new year to everyone around here.
Thank you. How's the family? I hope they are cool, they are fine. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I could. Yes.
Okay, so can you introduce yourself? This is Transcend Day 12, and you are very first speaker for today. Please introduce yourself to the house.
Some little noise is there. Can you rectify that? I think it's okay now. I could
Okay,
not
so
hear you.
please introduce yourself. I said you should
Yeah.
introduce yourself.
Okay. So, hello everyone. Good evening, one and all present here. I'm SINDDYA. I'm a trainer, speaker, coach, author, keynote speaker, etc. etc. I could tell you. So, my journey was at so long. I have a 15 years of corporate experience. Now, I embarked my journey into this training. I love writing books. I'm a blogger. I'm writing blog 2 3 articles every week, and I'm also a YouTuber. I always give book summary in my YouTube channel. So that's all a small introduction about myself. Hope today everyone are open to learn something about mindset.
Yes, we're ready to learn about mindset. So I think, guys, you can follow Mom Cynthia on our YouTube channel. She has a YouTube channel where she does book reviews and book summaries. Really a beautiful channel. So Mom Cynthia will be discussing today something very deep around the subject of mindset. So Mom Cynthia, how was the book reading by Carol S. Dweck? Tell us about the book.
Yeah, actually, today we are going to talk about the book as Mindset, the Psychology of Success. The author is Carol Dweck. So, she was a very good author. She was talking about this mindset and how this mindset connected with the psychology and how the psychology makes us so successful. So, the whole book is talking about mindset. In mindset, there are two types of mindset. One is fixed mindset, another one is growth mindset. So in all the areas, all the category, we are going to see the fixed and the growth mindset. So another thing, what is inside the mindset, what we are thinking, how we are thinking, what is inside the mindset. Next, the truth about ability and accomplishment. Then how a sports person, how they'll become a championship with this positive and good mindset. Next is about business. Obviously, it's really important one, how to achieve success in business to have a positive mindset. Next is about relationships. Everywhere, love relationship with parents, with children, with everywhere, even in our professional life, personal life, everywhere we need to have a good mindset to have a good, positive, and successful relationship, and how we have to change our mindset from fixed to growth. So this is about the whole book. These are all the content mixed, which available in the mindset book. So this is the thing we are going to see today.
Interesting. Babalola, I see you. Are welcome to class. So, can you tell us more about the differences between the growth and the fixed mindset? What is the
Yeah.
difference?
Yeah, actually, before I wanted to tell you like the difference between growth mindset and fixed mindset, I just want you to narrate one incident. This will happen in our regular life, day-to-day basis. So just imagine a day. You wake up late. You missed the alarm. You woke up 1 hour late one day. So what will happen in that day? when you missed the alarm, when you woke up late, obviously automatically we'll get that stress, right? That is the first feeling we'll get, because we have to make our children ready. If we woke up late, they'll also late, so we have to cook, we have to get ready the children, so everything become late on that day. So imagine, you already late, the children went to school very late, you also ended up with really hectic traffic, and you went to office really late, 1 hour late. So what happened? You missed a meeting, so you went late to that meeting. So the boss has asked you so many questions, and you were not prepared. Since you went late to the office, you couldn't answer properly in the meeting. So you came out, your boss was called you, and they asked a couple of questions which you couldn't answer, and you become really stressed, you become depressed, it was exhausted. Since you woke up late, you couldn't prepare lunch for you, but unfortunately the lunch was not available in office also, that day you skipped the lunch. So in this situation, how is your mindset? How will you feel? Definitely we feel really stressed. Some people, if we see, they too much exhausted. Some people labeled themselves as a, I'm a lazy person, I couldn't wake up early, everything went bad today. So that kind of mindset few people have. So if we have that kind of mindset, then it is called fixed mindset. Rather than this, if we have a, definitely it will be that stress will be there for some time, but after some time, if we come out from that stress, come out from the tension, come out from the depression, and if we think it's okay, no problem, today I made it, today I couldn't made it, so from tomorrow I'll make sure wake up early, I'll make sure I'll attend the meeting properly, I'll make sure, etc., etc. If we have that mindset, which is called the growth mindset. So I want you to ask a few questions, and I want you to use the chat box and answer me for my questions. If you agree with my question, you have to answer A. If you not agree with my answer, you should answer D. D means disagree. Okay. So my first question, everyone is ready, hope. Okay, please use the chat box and answer A or D. So my first question is, you are a certain kind of person and there is not much that can be done to really change that. You are a certain kind of person and there is not much that can be done to really change that. Can you see the answers? A or D? Faith, I don't see any answers in the chat box. Can you check that?
Can you see the chat box? I can see.
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, it's coming now. Okay. D, D. Only two answers. Shall we go to the next one?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
joining.
yeah. The second one is, no matter what kind of person you are, you can always change substantially. No matter what kind of person you are, you can always change substantially. A or D? What's your answer? A. Edwin says A. Isaac says A. Very good. Dora says A. A. So most probably, like I could see the answer is A. So the third question is, you can do things differently, but the most parts of who you are can't really change. You can do things differently, but the important parts of who you are can't really be changed. This is the third question. A or D? Agree or disagree? A, D, A, D. All right. The last question is, you can always change basic things about the kind of person you are. You can always change basic things about the kind of person you are. This is the fourth question. A, agree, Morris. Edwin says A. A. Okay. 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 Mostly said A. All right. So, from these four questions, if you answer 1 and 3 disagree, you have a growth mindset. For 1 and 3, if you said answer A, you have a fixed mindset. Similarly, at question number 2 and 4, if you said answer A, you have a growth mindset. For question 2 and 4, if you said answer D, you have a fixed mindset. So this is a few examples to know about what is growth mindset and what is fixed mindset. So this is a small difference between these things. So I just want to tell you, like fixed mindset people believe that their abilities and intelligence are innate and unchangeable. It is coming from themselves. They cannot change. It'll persist. That's what the fixed mindset people are thinking. But the growth mindset believes that they can develop their abilities through effort and learning. So, whatever the things we are having, we have a chance to change. We have chance to learn so many things. There is a plenty of chance to learn a new skills. This is what the growth mindset people always think. For example, if you want to learn a new skill, if you could think like you want to learn new language, it is not so easy to learn a new language. In this situation, for fixed mindset people, really they want to learn the language, but they'll suffer a lot. In some situation, they'll become stressed. They'll sit like they feel vague, and they're thinking like, is it really for me? Is it okay for me? That kind of mindset they have. But if you see the growth mindset people, even though they have faced so many challenges, those people are thinking like, yes, I need to learn this language. I'll suffer. Yes, I'm ready to suffer, but I'm open to learn. I want to learn, because from this learning some benefit they are going to get it. That's the reason they are going to learn the new language. So that growth mindset people have the mindset to learning. They'll see everything in positive way. So this is the little differentiate between growth mindset people and fixed mindset people. I think, hope everyone understand the difference between these two mindset, right?
Yes, it's clear, simple, and straight to the point. Thank you, Ma'am SINDDYA. What you're going to do for us after the class, please, you give us those questions again. those questions, you can just send it across so that I will text it to the group for them to see what you have said. So you give us
Yeah,
the questions and you tell us if you answer A and B for this, it is this. If you answer A for this, it is this. So we can post it for them to have clarity. I believe that
yeah,
some
sure.
people answered and yeah, possibly they didn't get the questions correctly. All right, thank you so much. I want to ask you, is it possible for us to be 50-50? Like I'm 50% growth mindset, 50% fixed mindset. Is it possible?
Yes, actually, if we see, we all of us have the both mindset. Nobody can be so much perfect in this world. Nobody, like even the great leadership has, like they cannot be in only in the growth mindset. Everybody have both elements with us, but we should aware in which situation we should have this growth mindset and in which situation we should have this positive mindset. We are all a mixture of fixed and growth mindset, but you should be aware in which areas, in which situation, in what intelligence, in what abilities, in what, like some people are really logical people, some people are like completely they are creative. So creative people, it's not so easy them to become a logist. Same logistic people, they cannot easily to become a creator. So we all have a positive side and negative side. We all have a strength and weakness, but we should aware what is our fixed mindset and where we need to work on to become fixed to growth mindset. So yes, my answer is yes. We should, all of us have both mindset, but we should aware of them. So that is the answer.
Interesting, guys. So it is possible for us to be, of course, what she's saying is we all have both the elements of the fixed and the growth mindset. So in different situations, we should learn how to utilize the right mindset, the positive mindset, so we can get results in our life. So, Ma'am Cynthia, how does the mindset thing affect our relationship?
Okay, if we talk about a relationship, in relationships, like as I said, there is a love relationship, there is a marriage, there is a children, with parents, with colleagues, with the professional, with personal. We have a lot of relationship criteria are there. So everywhere in all the relationship, this mindset is applicable. For example, I'm telling you very like a lot of things we are hearing every day about this love failure story. Similarly, there is one love failure story. One girl went to some places, some country. She got a job. She went to another country. She got a job, but she couldn't get any friend over there. She was exhausted. After 1 year, she met one person. She fall in love with that person. He also fall in love with that person because they both were a similar attitude, similar ideas, similar taste. Everything is similar. So they both loved each other. After 1 year, suddenly one day she got a note in her house saying the person wants to quit. He wants to leave the girl. So he just left one note and he went off. She was really upset. So this kind of love failure stories we are hearing every day, everywhere. But how this fixed mindset people and how the growth mindset people taking the feelings, taking the stress, how they handle this love failures, how they handle this relationship, that is most important. So when people had this fixed mindset, they felt judged and they labeled by the rejection. Permanently they labeled themselves. They always thinking like I'm a unlovable person. They labeled them. It was as though a verdict had been handed down and branded on their forehead as a unlovable person. Second thing, revenge. They started taking revenge on another person instead of understanding. So But if you see the growth mindset people, they always understand, they'll forgive, and they'll move on. I know it is not so easy to understand, forgive, and move on, but that is the difference. That is the major difference between growth mindset and fixed mindset people. So if that girl, for example, what I was talking, that girl, she want to take a revenge on that boy, so she went and she got that man and she took some revenge, some fought happened between them. So what happened, the complete that 1 year, that sweet memories, everything become bitter memories with them. So but instead of doing that, instead of taking revenge, if you analyze the problem, what had happened to that person, why he left, what happened, what is the mistake from my side. So if we analyze, if we understand, then just forgive that person. If we move on, then definitely some peaceful you will also get, that person will also get. You cannot even think about other person, but if you should think about yourself, if you have a good positive mindset, definitely it will give you a peaceful if you forget that person and if you move on. One problem is that people with the fixed mindset expect everything good to happen automatically. So even in all the relationship, they always think like everything should happen automatically, but this will not happen everything automatically. We should understand each other in love or marriage relationship. You should understand your spouse, then only your spouse will understand yourself. If you do whatever your spouse likes, automatically he or she will do whatever you likes for them. We should have that empathy. We always stand in their shoes and think about them, what they need, what they like. So similarly you will also get that. So we should think about that empathy in this relationship. So this is the thing the growth mindset people have. The next thing is they always have that ego thing, this fixed mindset people in that relationship, especially this spouse or this love relationship. They always think like, who's the greatest, that ego. So that ego kills, that ego break a lot of relationships. So this fixed mindset people have that ego, but this growth mindset people doesn't have any ego. Even your spouse, even your partner have that ego. This growth mindset people taught them actually this ego, because if we see 80% of the loves, 80% of the marriage broken because of this ego. Who's the greatest, that kind of attitude kills the relationship. So we should aware what is happening between our relationship, why this ego, where is this ego coming from, and why. So we should know this why, and we have that awareness with us within us, the relationship. Definitely this growth mindset people will teach other persons to have a proper relationship. And now I just want to give you one small exercise. For that, I asked everyone to close your eyes. All right, just close your eyes for 1 minute. I'll tell you one incident. Just imagine, but you have to close your eyes. Imagine that incident. Ready? Just type R in the chat box. I could see already people close their eyes, so happy. Shall we start now? Okay, ready. Okay. So close your eyes. I'm going to tell you, just imagine what happened in your life. After, actually, I'll tell you, like in everybody's life, in somehow, in some ways, we had some rejection in our relationship, even with your loved ones, even with your spouse, even with our parents, even with our colleagues, even with our children. A small rejection would have happened to us. Anywhere, something hurt us. Sometimes even children don't listen us, we hurt. Sometimes parent always scold us. They don't listen us. So we felt hurt. Sometimes spouse won't listen to us. They don't understand our feeling. We started hurt. Some of our close friends hurt us. So any situation, just think only one situation in your life where you got a big rejection, where you felt so much hurt. Just think one situation in your life. Hope you all imagine that situation. Now, I'm going to tell you, just follow what I'm telling. After a rejection, do you feel judged? Do you feel bitter? Do you feel vengeful? Do you want to take a revenge on that person? Or do you feel hurt but hopefully forgiving that person? Hopefully learning something from that scenario and you want to move on. Think of the worst rejection you ever had. Get in touch with all the feelings and see if you can view it from a growth mindset. Whatever I told you with the examples, just think from the growth mindset. What did you learn from it? Did it teach you something about what you want and don't want in your life? Did it teach you some positive things that were useful in later relationships? Can you forgive that person and wish them well? Can you let go of the bitterness? Now, just imagine you have a balloon in your hand. Now, close your eyes and think you just put all your feeling, you just put all your sadness, you just put all your bitterness into that balloon. Blow the balloon and flow the balloon. Just imagine you have a balloon in your hand. Just put all your bitterness, all your sadness, just blow it and flow away. Relax yourself. Relax. You can open your eyes now. How do you feel? Can you see some feelings in the chat box?
This woman, you are something else. My God. Is that one another type of meditation? Ma'am Cynthia? Wow, that's profound. Guys, did you enjoy it? I enjoyed it too. I just remembered
Okay.
one rejection like that. Oh my
So
goodness, beautiful. Go on, ma'am.
yeah, so this is how you can change your mindset from fixed mindset to growth mindset. This is how the relationship, you should give importance to the relationship, and you can forgive people to become a growth mindset. Now I just want to I don't know how many parents are here, but for parents this growth mindset really important. When you have a kids, you should always praise their talents and praise their intelligence, no matter what it is, because all the kids are different. Nobody is unique in the world. Everybody has their own talents, own intelligence, but we should know what kind of children they are, what kind of talents they have. Some children are very good at math, some kids are very good at English or any languages. Some kids are good at science, but we cannot compare with other children with our children. So if some people they don't like get good marks in their school, but they are really good at sports, really good at music, really good at arts. So we should always know what our kids are talented and wherever they are intelligent. As I said, few people are so creative. So those creative people, we cannot expect them to sit and learn, sit and study. that they don't easily get that sitting and that discipline they don't get. Rather, the creative person have a creative ideas. If we give that sort of studies or that sort of work, definitely they'll achieve. So every kids are talented, but we should know what is our kids are talented and where their intelligence. So we should know how to praise them. So this is also a growth mindset parents are doing. Next is handling failure. How handling failure helps to become a growth mindset. First, we should know how to handling failure. Then we should teach our children to handling failure, because we see in the academics, when the students getting low marks, they'll easily become depressed. They'll easily immediately they go to like a depression. But I think we see the last generation, even though we are facing so many challenges, so many things, we don't like get depression easily. But this generation become easily depression. The reason is now they are living in the world of technology. Everything is easily available, everything is instant here. Due to this instant gratification, whatever if we want, we'll get immediately. So this instant gratification makes this generation kids very easily depression, and they couldn't handle failure so easily. So this growth mindset parents always teach these children to handling the failure. For that, we should not criticize the children. Whatever they does, we should sit and analyze. We should sit and talk to the children. What happened to them, why it was happened, what why even though they did a lot of things, why they failed. So we should analyze, we should talk to them, and we should tell them, and we should encourage them rather than discourage the people. We should not criticize the children. And the last thing is about guilty. We should always tell them no guilt, no guilt. Because we scold our children to not get marks in academics or whatever, they didn't succeed, if they failed, they always had their own guilts. So this guilt makes a big problem in their future. This is the reason, like all the children, a lot of children end up with the childhood traumas. So if we avoid the traumas, we should tell them there is no guilt. It's okay attitude. This it's okay attitude helps the children to come out of the guilt. So next thing is about teaching. Teacher plays a major role in the relationship. Everybody in academic, everybody's like in schools and colleges, like in our life, major part we met our teachers and we came out from the school or colleges. So how this teachers teaching the children, there is no judgment. Teachers should not judge their students. Teachers have to love all their students? No, but they have to care their students. They have to care a single students. Caring is a very important role in the teacher's life. But the teachers should not judge. Instead, they should taking care. Next thing is about coaches. So how these coaches have the growth mindset? Coaches should be really kind. Coaches should be motivated. Coaches should be like equally treated everyone. They have plenty of students are there, so they should equally treating all the students. So these and all the relations, like we were talking about love, we were talking about marriage, spouse, parents, teachers and coaches. So this is about relationship, how like each relationship, how this growth mindset people, how we developed as a growth mindset, how it like affecting others, affecting other relationships, and how to motivate, how to build a good relationship. So this is about the relationship and the growth mindset.
Interesting. This is really deep, oh. Guys. Are you learning? This is deep. So much to learn from Ma'am Cynthia. Ma'am Cynthia, can you also talk about business? How does the mindset, growth mindset affect or influence our business?
Yes. As I said earlier, this business and this mindset is really important because everybody is working for our career, everybody is working for the wealth, everybody is working for the happiness. So, how this happiness we are getting with a good, successful business, with a good, successful professional life? To get that particular success in business, we should have a growth mindset. So we should get rid of the fixed mindset. A lot of researchers has done a lot of research between this growth mindset and fixed mindset. The researchers divided the business students into two groups. One group was given a fixed mindset. They were told that the task measured their basic underlying capabilities. The higher their capability, the capacity, the better their performances. The other group was given a growth mindset. They were told that management skills were developed through practices and the task would give them an opportunity to cultivate their skill. So, this is the things given to the business students in MBS. But the given task was really hard because the students were given high production standards to meet, and especially in their early attempts they felt short. Those with the fixed mindset did not profit from their mistakes, but those with the growth mindset kept on learning. They're not worried about measuring. They're not worried about their protection or their abilities. They're always ready to learn. They look directly at their mistakes, their feedback from their teachers, and they ready to change their strategy accordingly. They become better and better at understanding how to deploy and motivate their works, and their productivity kept the pace. In fact, they ended up way more productive than those with the fixed mindset students. What's more, throughout this rather grueling task, they maintained a healthy sense of confidence. So, this research shows like this growth mindset people automatically they learn so many things, they learn new strategies, and they are more confident. Like this, lot and lot of research is done, and everywhere this growth mindset people won the match. And Warren Bennis, he's actually called as a leadership guru. He was talking about the studied the world's greatest corporate leaders. These great leaders said they didn't set out to be the leaders. They themselves telling like they had no interest in proving themselves. They just did what they loved with tremendous drive and enthusiasm, and it led where it led. So in that research, like as I said, they don't want to, those leaders they want to prove, they don't want to prove themselves, rather they want to they had done only what they likes, what their passion was, only they did. So this growth mindset people never think about proving themselves to the world, rather they always want to learn, do only that. And I just want to tell you one example about Ford. So, Henry Ford too. In that period, I think 1950s something, the Ford Mustang was established. So during that time, we all know that Icaco, he was the one of the major role in that Ford Mustang. He was the president or vice president in the Ford Motors. What happened between these two people? Henry Ford and Icaco both were really close. They have like discovered so many vehicles. This Ford Mustang also, but after so many years, something happened between these two, and this Icaco came out from the Ford company because Henry Ford is always have this growth mindset, and Henry Ford felt this Icaco doesn't have the uh, growth mindset, he has always said that fixed mindset. Some this fixed mindset people is intelligent, but they don't want to learn, they don't want to upgrade themselves. They like always they are into this traditional mindset people. We could see like the smartphones. Before Nokia was like dominating the world, but after the smartphone app, after the Apple, after the Samsung came, Nokia didn't upgrade themselves. But what happened? This technology world, only Apple and Samsung dominated the complete world, and we couldn't see where was Nokia now. So this is how the people in business who has this positive, who has this growth mindset, they always succeed in the business. The people who has this fixed mindset in business, they always fail. So this is the most important thing in business. Whoever has the growth mindset, they always success. So if you are in business, if you work somewhere, please have that growth mindset, always ready to learn, always open to learn.
Interesting. Thank you, Ma'am Cynthia. It's been amazing. There's a question from Ma'am Amy. She says, how does a teacher guard individual students when she has over 100 to handle at a particular time?
Okay, the teacher had 100 to handle it. They cannot handle 100 students in a similar time, but the teacher should know uh, the challenging kids and unchallenging kids. So you should separate the students who is giving you a challenge. So you should pick the students and you should analyze. So for that, you need to sit and separate time. You need to give a separate time for those students, and you need to analyze what kind of students they are, how to what kind of challenges they are giving to you, and how we can um, rectify their challenges. Accordingly, you plan and you pick the students, and in the class you cannot give the same task like other students. Some students are really intelligent, some kids are not intelligent, but if they gives you trouble, you cannot handle them like other students. So you should like concentrate, and you should put some effort like differently. You should use some different strategy. That is also growth mindset people. I was talking about learning and using a different strategy. So just try a different strategy.
Interesting. Try out different strategies. That's profound. Prosper is also recommending the competence-based approach, CBA. Group them in groups and then, okay, based on their competencies and then occupy them with a task. Okay, that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Prosper. Okay, so I want to ask you, Ma'am Cynthia, what is a champion mindset? Guys, if you have any question for her, please drop it in the room. We're rounding up. Drop your questions now. Okay, what is a champion mindset, Ma'am Cynthia?
Yeah. So this championship, when we think about this championship, I always like, not only me, we all think about this sports. So this author also in this book, she was talking about sports, how sports person become a champion. So I'm asking you, just you use your chat box and answer me, what is important in sports to become a champion? In sports, what is important to become champion? Just use your chat box. According to you, what is important? Anybody answered my question? According to you, what is important to become a champion in sports? Discipline and determination. Okay, good. So a lot of things, lot of traits are there to become championship in these sports. But today's topic is about mindset. So we should have a growth mindset to become a champion in sports. For example, I want to talk about Muhammad Ali. Everyone knows about Muhammad Ali, right? I hope everyone knows about Muhammad Ali. He's a boxer. He's a very champion. He always get a champion in this boxing. But if we see about boxing, they have a lot of rules and regulations in the boxing. Boxing experts relied on physical measurement. They always call this as a tails of the tape, because they have rules, like they always have the physical appearance on the boxer should be like fighter's fist. They should have a proper chest, the chest expansion, the weight of the boxer should be like so and so. But this Muhammad Ali doesn't fit in all these criteria. He failed in this all measurement. He was not a natural person. He had great speed, but he didn't have the physique of a great fighter. He didn't have the strength. He didn't have the that classical move. In fact, he boxed all wrong. The punches, whatever he gives, everything is wrong. He didn't block punches with his arms and elbows. He punched in rallies like an amateur. He kept his jaw exposed, because in boxing we should always have this pose, but he always like his jaw exposed. He pulled back his torso to avoid the impact of upcoming punches. But how he became so successful, how he like succeed in boxing, that is a good trait is his growth mindset. His quickness, his speed, really his learning. He want to learn a lot of things. Practice, practice, practice. Even though he doesn't have this basic criteria in the boxing, but his brain, his brilliance, his positive mindset, his growth mindset make him so successful, make him championship in all the tournaments. His brain, not his brawn. He seized up his opponent and went for his mental jaguar. Not only did he study the fighting style, but he closely observed what kind of person in the ring, the opposition. He already read the person's fighting style. He could analyze the person, and he immediately fought. He could apply the strategy. How he could apply the strategy on the spot? Because he already know how to read other people. How he could like learn to read other people? Because of his practice, because of his learning. The everything made him so successful. Even though, as I said, he don't have any like proper strength, proper everything, the basic requirement, he failed. But he could able to fight with his mindset, that growth mindset, that applying strategy. He could made success everywhere. Next thing is about like uh, the fastest woman on earth. We could tell like Wilma Rudolph. She was called a fastest woman on earth. She was the person fastest woman on earth because in 1960 there was a Rome Olympic. In that Olympic, she got 3 gold medals for sprints and relay. Also, she got gold medal. She was far from a physical wonder as a youngster. She was a premature baby when she was born. She was the 20th of 22 children born to her parents, and constantly she was a sick child. At 4 years of her age, she nearly she like died. of a long struggle with the cause pneumonia. And her left leg was paralyzed, and she met a lot of things, but the doctor gave her little hope of ever using it again. Nobody knows, she'll become the fastest woman on earth. What she has done for 8 years, when she was in 8 years, she started vigorously practiced pursued physical therapy until at age 12 she shed her leg brace and began walk normally. So till 12 years she couldn't walk in her legs, she was wearing brace. But after that she didn't sit quietly. When she able to walk by herself, she started like all physical activity, physical skills she developed by herself. She immediately went and applied the lessons in basketball and track. Although she lost every race she entered in her first official track meet, she failed everywhere. But after her incredible practice, her incredible learning, she could achieved that 1960 Olympics. She won 3 gold medals only because of the positive mindset, only because of her learning, only because of her practice, 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 practice. So this is the best example, like in sports, how one person become champion. And also, in to become a championship in sports, we should have like character, we should have a good heart, we should have a good willpower to become a champion in the sports. So
Interesting, Ma'am Cynthia. Thank you so much. Guys, we're done. Ma'am Cynthia has just been giving it to us back to back from the work of Carol S. Dweck. How many of you have read the book? If you have read the book, just type in the room, I have read the book. I have read the book. If you've not read it, this is the call to action. If you want to be able to utilize this wisdom in your relationship, in your marriage, in your business, in whatever area of life, she has practically touched on every area, even in sports, in the area of sports and all of that. So please and please, I want you to take this up seriously. Apply this to from my years of coaching and mentoring people. I've also come to realize, my Cynthia, that you need a growth mindset to stay consistent on the path of personal development. I have seen that people come in, they want personal transformation, they like what you're doing, they like the impact, and then you tell them, okay, it is possible for you to do it as well. After a while, you don't see them again; they disappear, and you're wondering, but you were so passionate. You were you were like, I want to do this. I want to become this person. I know I have a calling. I have a talent. I want to develop it. But right now, where are you? Because you don't have a growth mindset. So the growth mindset is needed in all areas of life. It is important. So you have to take it up seriously. There's one more question. We already have our second speaker in the room. Mr. Royal Ekana is waiting, so we're going to allow him to come on board in the next 5 minutes. But before then, Ma'am Cynthia, you're going to answer this question in 2 minutes. How do we classify those who are in between the positive mindset and fixed mindset? Okay, she's still talking about students. How do we classify those that are in between the positive and the fixed mindset?
okay, good question. I asked you a few questions initially, like you should differentiate the people. The people are not ready to learn, not ready to listen to you. They are like fixed mindset. The people who are always ready to learn, always ready to listen, they have this growth mindset. For example, I'm telling in a lot of corporates, a lot of trainings are going on, but a lot of people are not so successful in their training only because they are not ready to listen, and they are not ready to apply the strategy, not ready to use whatever they learn, because they have a fixed mindset. Only because of that fixed mindset they failed. Accordingly, you should easily judge the people if they are open to listen, open to I think today I don't know how many people are there in the room, but I hope all the people are here to learn something new, and you have all a growth mindset here because you are open to learn. Similarly, you could easily classify the people who are like positive, who are listening, who are open. They are growth mindset. The people who are like always restricting and always like a full cup tea, like we cannot pour other tea because they are already full. They don't listen you. So those kind of person is fixed mindset. So this is easy thing. You can easily classify these two people.
Okay. So that is it, Ma'am Ekmu. I hope you've learned from that as well. I think there's also a link you can. I will check it out for those in the book club. I will check it out. There's a link you can also use to do some analysis and assessment to know where you are. And Ma'am Cindy, I've also asked some questions. By the time you also read the book, you can also come up with questions. You can also come up with assessments that you can utilize for your students in class. Yes, that will help you. So I will encourage everyone to read the book. I think it should be in the e-library by now. If you also want to subscribe to join our book club, you are welcome on board. And Ma'am Cynthia has been giving it back to back. In fact, the aspect that really got me was when she was trying to help us meditate, reflect upon our past experiences and our hurts and our pains in relationships and how to, just, blow them off our past and our lives and really have that sort of what's it called now, calmness and peace in our heart. It was really life changing. If you didn't watch the video from the beginning, please go back and watch the replay after now. So, Ma'am Cynthia, we're going to allow you to give us your final words for today's session. It's been an amazing experience with you. Thank you so much for your time. So please, can you go ahead, give us your final words, your final thoughts about the book and your encouragement to your listeners this evening.
Yeah, actually, if I talk about the book, the speaker, the author was talking about so many examples, so many examples. I could tell you, I could deliver only few examples, very little, very little. She was talking about so many examples. So please read the book. This is my suggestion, and you should analyze yourself where you are right now, where you are like lagging your growth mindset. So you should work on it. That is the thing I'm telling. For that, you need to follow few steps. One, analyze yourself where you are right now. And two, have a self-awareness. What is your problem? What is your strength? What is your weakness? How to get rid of, how to come away from like your fixed mindset. So always have a positive mindset, always ready and open to learn something. So definitely you will achieve in your career. You'll have a very good relationship with everyone and have a positive, have a very good life in this 2024. I wish everyone to have a successful year.
Thank you. I know it's midnight over there. What time is
Yeah,
it, Ma'am Cynthia? What time
12:30
is it
now.
right now? 12:30.
12:30
Thank you
now.
for your time. Yeah, 12:30. It's morning already. Thank you for your time, for coming around. We appreciate you for your contribution to Transcend with Book 2024. We hope to see you in 2025. All right, continue on this journey. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming around. We'll see you in some of our other sessions. Guys, go and implement. Thank you, Ma'am Cynthia.
Yeah,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you. Thank you everyone for listening me patiently. I hope I could give you some insights about this book. So thank you. Good night.
Yeah. Good night. Bye for now. So, guys, how was it? It was powerful, right? All right. I see Mom Elizabeth. She says this has really helped me in no small way as an education. It's beautiful. The book is available. Yeah, you can go get it in the e-library. Okay. All right, thank you everyone for your time. We have our next speaker coming on board right now, Mr. Royal. All right, guys, are you ready? Let me see the drum roll. Let me see the emojis in the room. Type them in the room. We're about to become powerful speakers again. Ma'am Jemima started off on this journey, so we're going to be having Mr. Royal today. So type in the room if you're ready for me to bring Mr. Royal on board. Let me see your comments. Let me see your love. Let me see your emojis. in the room. All right, so Mr. Roya is going to be speaking from the work of Brian Tracy, the six-figure speaker, the ultimate blueprint to build a business as a highly paid professional speaker. How many of you want to be highly paid this year? Can you guys hear me? I'm not seeing no comments. I hope you can hear me. Hope it's not breaking. Can you hear me? I can't see no comments. Can you guys still hear me? All right. The ultimate blueprint to build a business as a highly paid professional speaker. Okay, Mr. Royo is here now. Yeah, 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 yeah. Drum roll. Mr. Royo, how you doing? How you doing, man? You since you're in the hospital, right?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Can you hear me loud and clear? Am I audible enough?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay.
Mr. Royal, thank you for coming around. Can you introduce yourself to the house again? Please introduce yourself to the
Uh,
house with Mr. Royal Estana.
all right. Just like she said, Mrs. Faith, thank you so much for this opportunity for me to be here with you guys on set. My name is Royal Eterno, and I am a I am a speech mechanic, so I would say, or a speech blacksmith. As for a blacksmith, two things are important to a blacksmith. He tends to mold metal into any desired shape, and there are two characteristics of metal that comes to mind when a blacksmith is working. And those two characteristics or qualities of metals is malleability and ductility. Malleability is the ability of a metal to be beaten into shapes, any form of shape, and ductility is the characteristic that defines a metal if it can be drawn into wires. So the copper wires you see, the aluminum wires you see, are all made from metals because they possess the characteristics of ductility. So as a speech mechanic, what a mechanic does is to most time correct a problem that is wrong, problem with a vehicle or an automobile or whatever the case may be. So what I correct here, the tool that I correct or the organ that I correct, in this case, not an automobile, is the tongue. The tongue is likened to a metal, and your tongue, for like I do teach the keys every time we come on set. If a child needs to be illiterate, because the dictionary meaning of literate is someone who knows how to read and write, and that's the end. You're not going to see anything more than that. So it's only people who have authority in their various niche that knows the full meaning of literacy. Literacy is not only someone who knows how to read and write, but someone who also knows how to listen and speak in a certain language. So it means that you can be illiterate in one language and be an illiterate in another language. So illiterate is someone who doesn't only know how to read and write, but could also speak and listen in a certain language with the designated tone or the designated accent that is native to that language. So for a whole bunch of us, especially we here from West Africa, we know how to read and write. Sometimes we even know how to speak, but we using the designated accent that is native to the language which we speak. That is where a problem comes in. So for a whole lot of us, we're not 100% literate in the language we say we are speaking or we are reading with, So that is where I come in. That is my own unique niche that I carved out in the speaking program. So I come in for an adult. The tongue of an adult is likened to a solid piece of clay that has been solidified after it has been molded. So the only way you could bend a solid piece of clay is by breaking it. You cannot mold it into your desired shape. So the tongue of an adult in learning languages is like that of a solid piece of clay or a piece of metal that's been solidified. You cannot bend it. So, I beg your pardon. So, what you do is, if that needs to happen, that piece of clay needs to be, water needs to be added. Please give me a moment.
All right, guys. Yeah, Mom Girlie, you've been waiting. Royal is here now. All right. Welcome, everyone. I see Mom Yetunde. Mom Yetunde, how you doing? It's been a while. All right, go ahead, Mr. Royal. You're back now.
Uh,
Water needs to be added, like you said.
I'm sure the atmosphere here is so dry, and I'm having a little bit of cough with that, and I had to go off the cameras. Yeah, I hope I will be able to sustain the program without coughing too much, but that's okay. So, before a piece of clay could be molded into any shape, water needs to be added into it so that when water is added into it, it becomes a semi-solid. When it is semi-solid, you can mold it into your desired shape. So the desired shape you're molding it into is called language. The piece of clay itself is called your tongue. But for an adult person, the tongue is like a solid piece of clay. Then for a child who's growing up, who is still in his or her formative years, the tongue is likened to a piece of clay that is semi-solid. It could bend into any shape. So what I do is I try to bring in this virtue of being literate 100% in a certain language. I bring it to a child because a child has the capacity to unlearn and learn.
Sorry about that, Mr. Royal. We're waiting.
Yeah, sorry
Okay.
about that.
Welcome back. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So that is what I do. So I bring in a curative process to the tongue of the child so that the child will be able. I focus more on the shape. The shape I focus more on is English language. So English language has a certain cadence to it. It has a certain accent to it. So when I teach the English language, when it has to do with speaking, I make sure all those attributes of accent and all of that is brought in one package. And so the child grows with
Okay.
that, and the child is able to release words that sound like the language that a child is speaking. So that is my
Okay.
mainstay. That is what I do. Not everyone is lucky enough to be wealthy. Not everybody is lucky enough to be wealthy. But nobody needs to be impoverished. When it comes to nobody needs to be deprived, rather, of the distinction that comes with the use of words with strength and grace. Nobody needs to be impoverished. And so the first, like I will always say, the area in which illiteracy or poor education shows up first is in your self-expression, be it oral or written. It makes little difference how many college degrees you may have amassed, how many university courses that person may own. If he cannot use words to move an idea from one point to another, his education is incomplete. So the business of assembling words, not just words, but the right words, putting them down together in proper sequence, in the right sequence, and enabling each of these words to pull its full weight in the conveyance of meaning. That is where I'm a pro at. And so I've been given this
Okay.
opportunity to come talk about the six-figure speaker. The
Speaker.
six-figure
Come on
speaker.
now.
A book written by Brian Tracy. And so I want you guys to know that this book was actually written by Brian to be delivered over a period of 2 weeks. And so that's what we want to do in a blow. But let's see how far we can go with it. Everything an
Okay.
aspiring speaker needs to know to become a highly paid professional in high demand. That's what we want to delve into.
We're
So if
interested in
you're,
that.
yeah, so if you are serious about becoming a professional speaker, if you want to easily build businesses and influence, persuade, and motivate, inspire, and capture an undying loyalty of your audience, then this program is for you. So we're going to be delving into that in a bit. And I'd like you guys to stay. There's a word Mrs. Faith always used, be expectant. Be expectant. So the goal of this book is simply to simplify all the processes of becoming an excellent speaker. To simplify it, you know, um, and bring
So,
it to your
Mr.
doorstep.
Royal,
Yes,
thank you,
ma'am.
Mr. Royal. Mr. Royal, what do you think about the book? First of all, let's start from that. What do you think about the book?
Okay, of course. Yeah, of course. I like the book. Yeah. The thing is, there's something. What I'm going to say right now is a little bit unconventional. I got to realize that there were two books you sent to me to pick out one to do a delivery here. I got to realize that 50% of what is in this very book, the six-figure income, is also the same content that's in the other one. So if you have read, I don't know if any one of you has read one of the Robert Kiyosaki's book. If you use the Robert Kiyosaki's book about businesses, the cash flow quadrant, the undue advantage. If someone is to read any one of Robert Kiyosaki's book from afar and ask, who is the author of the book I'm reading, I should be able to tell it is Robert Kiyosaki because most of the things that are conveyed in his books are repeated in a different way in the other books that he has written. You know, yeah. So everything that's going to be said here, all the simplification, all the simplified processes of becoming an excellent speaker are things that you already know about. There's nothing really new here. So when I first delved into the book, I was like, yeah, just like one of those things. These are things we know about, but the problem is we don't get enough fire to put it into work, to put it into practice. That is where the problem is. Action. We don't take action. Now, success. When I was growing up, my dad used to say success is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So you see, all you need is just 1% inspiration. And the rest of it is to get to work. That is where to perspire comes in. Excuse me.
So, guys, don't remind them that we have started. The second speaker is on fire. Success is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. That is where the work lies. Execution. So, Mr. Roya is saying that for all that we are going to be learning here today, most of them we already know. But the problem is action taking. I call it the actionable initiative, your doable initiative, right? So it is time to do the work. So it is going to be giving us insights on how we can step up and begin to do the work. How many of us here want to be six-figure speakers? How many of us is here? You want to be a six-figure speaker? How many of you? Let me see. 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 Do you have a message? Do you have a message? I think I took that from the book. It says, that you want to be. Okay, Royal is back. Let me allow Royal to speak. Royal, go ahead. Welcome.
I'm so sorry, guys. I had to blind up the cameras so that you guys don't get to see me throwing up that jab. So you see, there's a whole
It's
lot
all
that
right.
we're gonna learn in here, but what's most important in the journey of becoming a six-figure income um, speaker is something Brian cocooned in something called the 4 Ds. The 4 Ds. And for you to be virtually venture into any endeavor in life, you must have this 4 Ds. And this 4 Ds also accrue to the subject here that we're talking about, becoming a six-figure speaker and a professional. And these 4 Ds are what? One, desire. You must have desire. And the second one is you must make a decision. You must make a decision. And also, with the decision that you have made, you must be disciplined to carry through that which you have decided you want to get done. But not only that, one last D is determination. Because in the process of you becoming what you are going to become, you're going to get a whole lot of setbacks. You're going to be ridiculed many a time for your ability to stay focused, your ability to persist and have patience, to carry through with the process. It's what will eventually make you break even. So before we start, let's talk a little bit more about Brian Tracy. We can see from his biography here that he has consulted about 1,000 companies and addressed more than 5 million people. Within 5,000 talks that he has had, talks and seminars that he has had in the United States and in a whole 70 countries, all over the nations of the world, the United States and about 69 other countries. As at the time this book was written, I'm pretty much sure that was the figure. If we are to do a recalculation, the figure we have in here, 5 million people, will almost be raised to the power of maybe 2. Because we are, right about now, all the people that are tuned in to the station right now, Brian Tracy is speaking to all of you, speaking to me, speaking to Mrs. Faith. So that number is increasing. If you could get a hold of any book, it means that that person has somehow ministered to you. So this number that we have about Brian Tracy, 5 million people he has had talks with all around nations of the world. If we were to do the calculation right now, it should be somewhere around 25 million, even over 100 million. Because we are in the 21st century and we could pretty much have access to any material that we could have online just like that. So he has traveled around about 107 countries. In the 6 continents that we have, about 6 continents in the world. And he speaks, I think, about 4 different languages. And he has addressed over 250,000, he addresses over 250,000 people in a year. That is mind-blowing. So he doesn't only speak to private and public companies, but he also speaks to corporate audiences on the subject, basically on the subject of personal and professional development, including the executives and staff of those companies, of many of America's largest companies. So he's got great talks, exciting speech and seminars on leadership, selling, self-esteem, and a whole bunch of that, strategy, creativity, and kind of success mentality, success psychology, bringing out about immediate changes and long-term results. That is what he has been able to do. And Brian Tracy is reaching us today through social media, through this platform that Mrs. Faith is anchoring. So we are all tapping into this, into all of those potentials that he has been able to unleash over the years. So so the best tips and strategies you could use to navigate the road leading to a six-figure speaker is what it's going to be outlined in the next couple of minutes that we have. You know, so yeah,
Please tell us, share with us.
yeah. So to become a six-figure speaker, there's a whole lot that it entails. The act of planning, preparation, and delivering talks and presentations forces you to use your mind at a higher level, to use your mind at a very high level. Your mind is your most valuable asset, you know, and learning to become an outstanding speaker is a critical skill that any one of y'all need to have to get to be successful in your endeavor. Yes, you could have more money from this, but I don't want you guys to look into the money part. There's always a starting point. And Brian Tracy wasn't shy when he shared his story. It took him about 7 years for him to break even. In fact, the first 2 years when he started speaking, he ran into various debts. He only started clearing up those debts, even into bankruptcy. He only started clearing those debts in his third and fourth year when he got into public speaking. And there was a speaker who was the president of something public speaking in the United States. He talked about the fact that it takes someone to move from the bottom 10% to the top 10% of speakers, of professional paid speakers. It takes them nothing less than 7 years and 10,000 hours. If we do the mathematics, 10,000 hours equates to about a year plus. That is, if you don't do anything, you just wake up in the morning and you are making plans on how to speak good. All the inputs you put and all that, it takes you about 1 year. You're not eating, you're not drinking, you're not sleeping. If you aggregate that, that's a whole lot. But thank God for social media. Brian was able to reach out to over 5 million people in over 5,000 talks that he had. But right now, we're already meeting people here on social media. So the 21st century has a whole lot for us. And if only you could tap into it, I tell you what, you may not break even after 7 years. You may do it in half. You know, so there's a whole lot. There's a whole lot. Becoming an excellent speaker, like I said, will do wonders for your self-esteem. By becoming the top 10%, you will learn how to overcome your fear and take your career to the next level. You know, if you read the very beginning part of this book, he talked about a guy who was shy in a company. This guy was very shy, and at some point he was almost fired. Please, just a moment. I got someone knocking on the door. I need to check who it is.
Yes, Elizabeth, your mind is the most valuable asset. Yeah, in every sphere of engagement. If you want to be a powerful speaker, Brian Tracy also made mention of that in the book, that the preparatory process, the planning and everything that goes into it allows you to make use of your mind in the most excellent way. So whatever it is you want to do. And one beautiful thing I really love about becoming an excellent speaker is the fact that it is going to help you in all areas of your life. Like Mr. Royal rightly said, it's going to help you build your self-esteem, your self-worth, your ability to even sell Yes, to communicate effectively, sell your products and services. Maybe you have something you're selling. Of course, we are all selling something. Whether you're selling your idea, your vision, your products and services, you must be able to speak well. Valuable. Um, Speaking well is going to help you take your whatever that you're doing to the next level. So you see that this is really a beautiful thing. Brian says in the book that beyond just the fact that you want to be a six-figure speaker, you must have a message. You must have a message. And I understand that for you to be in this class today means that you have a message, right? So I just wanted to sit still. We've got about 34 minutes to go to learn. As Mr. Roya is talking, make sure you keep putting down your questions so you can ask to help you gain deeper level of clarity, okay, as to how to take your speaking to the next level. Remember, like I would always say that we live in the era of what? Publishing. Whether you are publishing in the form of writing, in the form of speaking, it is a necessity. All right, Mr. Roya is back. Welcome. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. One of the doctors was checking something, so I had to let the door open for him. Yes, so yeah, back to
All
the
right.
lecture at hand. So you see, there's a whole lot that this could do for you as a professional speaker. It could open multiple doors for you. You know, Becoming a good speaker will not only revolutionize your career, it might just change your life. So let's really delve into this 4D that we're talking about. Very important, very important. Desire. So the first thing you must do is to have a burning an intense desire to want to speak well. If I'm to quote verbatim, just like he put here, he said, "What the desire to speak well, desire not just the desire to speak, but a desire to speak well." That is where I actually started from. It was a desire to speak. I didn't know I was going to be having a platform such as this, right? But this is what it has transcended into. I was just doing that for the love of speaking good. I never knew it could take me this far. But here am I today. I am talking with people here online and they're watching. So if your desire is strong enough to want to become a six-figure speaker, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. I'd like to give a quote. There's a certain quote that do not, how's that quote again? Let me try to remember what it was. Do not be afraid to shine. Do not be afraid to shine because the sun doesn't give a shit if it blinds you. Yeah, you can say that again. Do not be afraid to shine because the sun doesn't give. This is verbatim. I'm verbatim. I'm quoting word for word. The sun doesn't give a shit if it blinds you. So you see,
Come on.
to carry through with your desire, you have to make a decision. Beg your pardon. So like the big like you have to overcome obstacles, and do whatever it takes to become that which your desire has carried you into. You must have the discipline, the plan to deliver talks and presentations over and over again. That is where discipline is birthed until you achieve success. You know. So let's talk about determination. I call it, let's use another D for determination, doggedness. You must be dogged. You must have the determination to persist and persevere in spite of any short-term setback or obstacle or embarrassment that you may experience. So the only limit that you have is you. The only limit you have is you. Your greatest enemies are your own doubts and your fears. So you see, you have to find a way to launch out. I use the word inertia. You must get out of the inertia state. Once you get out of that place, you launch out. Nobody is rooting out for you more than you. Nobody cares about you more than you. So if you're ready, so let's get going. You see, a whole lot of people say they want to be professional speakers. A whole lot of you here that tune in right now, you want to be professional speakers. But why do you want to become a professional speaker? The why is very important. So that is what is going to get you there. For a whole bunch of people, they want to become professional speakers because they want to be famous. They want to have a lot of money. They want to bag all the cash. They want to be a star on stage. You see, but all those reasons are good enough. But becoming a professional speaker can make you a lot of money and give you a well-known name, but it is not enough of a reason for you to want to do it. There has to be something else. I beg your pardon. There has to be something else. And what is that something else? The necessary ingredient. Same way as you must have a burning desire, you must have a burning message. A message that is connected to your heart. If the message is not connected to your heart, you cannot affect lives. Someone said, a writer is someone who cannot but write. If I'm to quote verbatim, word for word, in Brian Tracy's book, he said, a writer is someone who cannot not write. That he cannot do without writing. A speaker is someone who cannot but speak. A speaker is someone who cannot not speak. Same thing as an actor. An actor is someone who cannot but act, or who cannot not act. So it must be that you must have that passion, must be there, that desire must be there. Real speakers love their subject so much and believe it is so important that they are compelled to convey it to people. So your whatever you are speaking on must have, like I said, must have a heart to live connection. There's a good chance you have a burning message within you right now. So you see, you can't just speak for the money or for the praise and recognition. People who do this usually don't last in this profession of speaking. They tarry for 2 years and they give it. They go out of business. But if you have something from your heart that you strongly want to share, then your psychic will always find a way to become effective in expressing yourself. That is where speaking from the heart comes from. So you see, speakers are successful because they have a burning message, and not because they want to make money, because they have a burning message. That is a take-home point. And just as a writer is someone who cannot not write, a speaker is someone who cannot not speak. So do not be scared at all to speak from your heart. It will take you real far. It will take you far. You have to speak from your heart. And in speaking from your heart, you must have a story. A very unique story. A very unique story. Now, if you go to the chapter 2 of this, Mr. Brian spent time to talk about his story. Very passionate story. Very passionate story. You know, you're going to get a lot of setbacks, a lot of failure. Life is going to put you to the ground. But like Les Brown says, that when life knocks you down, land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. So the truth is, there's no right way to getting into speaking. There's no right way. There's no certain way. How did Brian Tracy start? How did he get started? Brian Tracy was into sales in a company where he worked. He was just a salesperson, and he struggled in his sales. But then he finally learned how to sell. People started to ask him, "Hey, how are you doing this? How are you doing this?" You know, and all that. And one day, his boss approached him and said, "Look, you know what? I want y'all to recruit some people and teach them your successes in making sales. So these people could replicate your success, your success story. And so he began recruiting people. Soon enough, this people he started recruiting got your sales even better. And he started to put together a little sales training course. So you could see where he started from. He didn't just wake up one morning and decided to be a speaker. He had a root where he was coming from. That was his own unique story. So in trying to put out course outlines, sales training courses and outlines, and then he decided to frame it into a logical opening, a development, a close, and a call for action. He patterned his training course into those 4 sections: a logical opening, a development page, a close, and a call for action. He didn't know what he was doing. It turned out that a large number of professional speakers start off the same way that he did, by speaking in their organization or having to be asked to talk to some people among his industry. I beg your pardon. So eventually, there was someone who sold seminars for a large company. So they had, I think that was way back in the 1980s. So a lot of companies, there was a huge recession. And so this guy got fired. This guy who sells seminars, he got fired. And one day, this guy got to read his book, his training courses. I'm like, wow, I'd like you to make something like this, because I'm a professional. I do sell seminars. I could get this thing out. And they decided. Brian decided that he's going to do something on personal development. And then he put up something. The name of that guy is people remember, Dennis. His name is Dennis, according to this book that we are reviewing. His name was Dennis. And so what he did was he made this journal to sell for $295. That was his first public presentation. So what he did was, the first invitation he set out, he hired a venue for the seminar to be let out for a 2-day seminar. He spent close to about $2,000 to get that done. And 7 people came for the seminar. And among those 7 people, 2 were his relatives, his brother and his wife. The other 2 were his the other 2 were his colleagues. They were just couples, man and woman, male and female, male and female. And so it was the 7th person who actually paid $295, and it took him 2 months to make that payment. He had to put several calls to this person before this person was able to pay that $295. So you can imagine spending about $2,000 arranging for a venue and all the miscellaneous and all the expenses accrued to that seminar, and you getting only $295 after 2 months. If you were not disciplined, if you're not dogged, if you don't have determination, that is enough. That is enough to make you quit. And so there was a lot. The story is really fascinating. He has a very fascinating story. So But what happened? One of the first clients that he ever had was the first client. That's the very first. They call it a gig. The first gig that he had, which was an opportunity. He talked about all you got to do is speak. Have opportunity when you're called, when you're given an opportunity to address an audience. Go out there because you don't know who is going to connect you to someone. And so when he went out one day, a guy who worked in a firm was had a burning desire. The guy worked in IBM. In IBM, he had a burning desire, and after that seminar, he called the IBM headquarters in Toronto. Brian was living in Canada at that time, and told them that he had to speak to the president of IBM. And so he had the rare opportunity to come give a talk. And so the board of directors told Brian that, you know what, we're going to do a test run. We're going to do a test run. You're going to give a speech for 1 hour on personal development. But in this 1 hour, we want to see what you want to go out there to give to the people. Let us see the capacity that you have. We just don't want you all to go out there and make a mess of us. And so he had a forum. They arranged a forum and he spoke, and they quite liked him. And he was given the opportunity to do a 1 hour talk to 23 managers of IBM. And that was how it opened up for him. Every month he will go ahead in the next 3 years after that time. The next 3 years he had close to over 30 seminars with the managers of IBM. And that scaled his finances to a whole new another level. This was pretty much the 4th year into his speaking. The 4th year into his speaking. So if he was not dogged, if he was not determined, he would have given up a long time ago. So this opened a lot of doors for him. You know, a lot of doors that might never have been opened for him. You know, he could now say that he was one of the most popular speakers for IBM as at that time. And that credibility helped his speaking career to take off. So IBM paid him so well, and every single time that he did a talk, he reviewed it carefully with the people that brought him, that gave him that opportunity, so as to upgrade and improve on that which he has delivered over the years. You know, so you see, let's talk about creating your vision. As a speaker, you can create amazing change in people's lives. Very important. So he had a story that in one of the seminars that he had, he spoke to 2 people. And if I can remember, each of them were running a business. And those businesses were on the verge of collapse. You know, you see, but with that which he has, with a roadmap that he has created over the years, he was able to resuscitate the businesses of these 2 people. You know, you see, so that is what it means. But how do you get started? There are many ways to start. And Brian Tracy wanted to be a trainer, but he delved into speaking. He just wanted to be a trainer. He never knew he was going to end up speaking. So most people start off with a 23-minute talk and walk their way up to maybe 30 minutes to 1 hour, 2 hours, and even a full day, sometimes for 1 week. You see, and but how did Brian Tracy start? Brian Tracy started first. He started to have a 2-day seminar, which he sold just one of his seminar notes for $295. It took him 2 months to get that money back. And then from a 2-day seminar, he went back. He worked back to 23 minutes and even 15 minutes. This were his building processes. You know, so there's a rule that he learned. And this was the rule I was talking about, the president of the National Association, um, the National Speakers Association. Her name is it Patricia? Patricia. So Patricia Fripp said, um, she had that it takes 7 years. I think I said this before. It takes 7 years to become a successful professional speaker. And he, as Brian Tracy, felt that wasn't true. He felt he was going to do it maybe in 3 years. Because this lady started speaking to 1,000 people, and she explained her career and her history. She began as a hairdresser. That's what she started with. As a hairdresser before starting to speak. It took her 7 years to become an independent professional speaker at high rates. You know, so Brian Tracy decided that wasn't going to happen to him. That's what he decided. Say no, but he got to realize that it actually took him 7 years, just like the woman said, the exact 7 years. So what he learned later, based on the years of research, is that it takes 2 years of looking for and chasing down every single opportunity for stage time. It'll take you 2 years to do that, just to get a platform that you're going to speak. In order for you to learn, and this will happen so that you can learn and master your craft. It takes another 2 years for you to do a review, to criticize and upgrade your skills. Many people quit at this juncture after 2 years because they realize they're not good enough speakers and they're never going to be good. That is the 4th year. It takes 2 more years for you to actually earn good money from speaking. He talked about that in his first 2 years, like I said, that he went deeply into bankruptcy. He was he was able to avoid him not getting out of business from begging his creditors not to close in on him. So in the next 2 years, after the first 2 years, that's when he cleared his debts. So it's a journey. It's a journey. There was someone he quoted in his book, Malcolm Gladwell. Malcolm Gladwell said that in one of his books, Outliers, that it takes 7 years and 10,000 hours of hard work to break into the top 10% of your field. So it doesn't matter whether it is speaking or any endeavor, that it takes about 7 years for you to break to that point. I know Mrs. Faith has been doing this pretty much for like, Mrs. Faith, you started this maybe like 2017, I cannot really recall. So if you add right about that, I think it's about 7 years. So I think in a moment from now, Faith is, she is already getting into the top 10, top 10 active people of what she does. She is into books, reading, reading. That is her mainstay. So she's getting in pretty much into the top 10%. So it takes years and years of building, years of reviewing, years of criticizing and upgrading your skills. And she's been through all this process. So these 4 Ds are very important. But as a speaker, you must have a unique story. You must have a unique story if you're going to be a speaker. If you look at this book right now, Mr. Brian started this book with his own story. You must have a unique story. It is your story that makes you unique. But more than you having a story, more than you having a message that is important, the other thing is what makes you unique. You must have a unique story, but what makes you unique? It's a very important question y'all need to ask yourself. So when you're really clear about your audience, the kind of audience you want to have, you want to talk to, the kind of audience Mrs. Faith had, it's not the kind of audience that I have. We do speaking. We both do speaking, but her audience is different from my audience because I'm uniquely talented in a certain way. She's uniquely talented in a certain way. So your uniqueness brings a certain feature of the kind of audience that comes to you. When you are clear about your audience and what they need. Then you'll be clear about your special, unique, and differentiated message. Your message should be different from every other person's message. Why should people leave Mrs. Faith to come patronize me, to come buy something from me? Or why should people leave me and go buy something from Mrs. Faith? It is your uniqueness. So there must be something. People will pay $1 for a program with information, but
Yeah.
people will also pay $10 for a program with information plus a story. What is the story behind your success? So you must have a unique story attached to what you're doing. Like I said, if you read it in this book, he said, I began this book with my own story. That's what he said, Brian, in his book. He talked about how he began and how he learned, how he learned and how it also helped him. You know, so telling the story about how you learned these ideas and all of these skills and the difference that it has made in your life makes your product unique. It makes your product different and special, incapable of being duplicated by anyone else, anywhere. The only reason why I could tell my kids that the definition of literacy is not fully complete is because I know my craft. I know what I'm doing. That's why I could give them the full download of the definition of what being a literate is. Because I know what I'm doing, I've been able to coin some key concepts. Concepts like the concept of learning before learning, the concept of learning after learning. I coined this concept from nowhere because my heart is connected to what I'm
From
doing.
your story.
Yeah, from my story.
From your story.
Yeah, so for me, the way it was I didn't have to go to a British college. I didn't have to go to a school in the United States of America. I didn't have to go through any course to get to my level of speaking. It started while I was growing up, and I believe that if that could work for me, if that was possible for me, I could replicate that in pretty much any key. I used a whole lot of, there was a whole lot of ideas, a whole lot of openings I had while growing up in my formative years that exposed me to this kind of speaking. And I am saying that if this, and that was when we didn't even have the internet. Right about now we have the internet, so it's pretty much like a catalyst. The internet is like a catalyst. It speeds up the rate of you arriving at a certain level. In this case, a 6-figure speaker that you want to become. So you see, telling your story is very important. It's very important. So you can change someone's life just by being a better speaker. It can take up to 7 years for you to become a professional speaker in pretty much any endeavor that you're in. So you must have desire, and you must make a decision. You must have discipline and the wherewithal, the determination to succeed. I believe our time is far spent. There's a whole lot in here. But like I said, the problem that we have, it's not because we don't have this information. We have this information everywhere. We know these things. But the desire to get into work is what books like this does to us. It gives us that 1% inspiration that makes us move from the state of inertia into action and maximizing and actualizing our full potential. In this case, becoming a 6-figure speaker. So there's a whole lot. This gives you a bird's eye view of what is in this book. A story that is unique to you. When you are selling yourself, you must have a message that you have to the audience, a very unique message. That message will make people long for what you are delivering. So this gives you a foretaste of what is in the 6-figure, how to become a 6-figure speaker, and for you to go back to the book and read for yourself and get into work. Our time is far spent. It's 55 minutes. I'm pretty much sure we spend about 10 minutes going back, off and on because of my dry throat and because
It's all right.
around.
We'll give them room to ask questions.
Yes. So
Mr. Royal, thank you.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. It's been amazing, and you have given us the full gist of the book. I read the book today. I read the book today,
Thank you.
and it's really really amazing going through the work of Tracy because I'm interested in becoming a six-figure speaker. When we are talking about six figures, we're not talking about six figures in our local currency. We're talking about in hard currencies like pounds, dollars, and
Yeah.
all of those currencies. Yeah. So it is possible. We've learned a lot, know your story, be dogged, know the 4Ds and all of that. So guys, you have questions for Mr. Royal. You have a question, please drop it in the room right now so that he can address your question. Um, so he has also told us that we should be able to take action. So Mr. Royal, how is that like that taking of action? Is it easy? Is it really easy? Like getting this inspiration and moving into the place of work? Is it really easy? What are your recommendations for doing the work?
Um, about that, you have to. Every human comes to. There's a point every human being comes to in his life. Like Mrs. Faith, you've been talking to me about launching out. Royal, you got a whole lot of talent, a whole lot of skill, and a whole lot. It's time for y'all to reach out. And every now and then, you're like a mentor to me. And this book has actually done justice to me waking up. I was supposed to open up a Facebook account to go viral and all that, so I can start getting people to come online and do some kind of coaching and all that when they
I'm
have
deliberate
to,
about that question, Royal.
as regards to speaking. But I had some problems. Facebook, for some reason, will not allow me use my name. They said people in your country don't answer such a name. So it was only 3 days ago that my account was changed. So I had to go print, I had to go to NIN website. I downloaded the plastic ID, the soft copy. I went to a printer shop and I got a plastic ID card printed. That is determination. If I was not determined, I would have just given them like, come on, Facebook doesn't even want to help me out. So I got a plastic ID card printed. I got a Facebook, snapped the ID card, and sent them a message, put in my email. Just 3 days ago, they responded back to me that your name has been changed. I went back, and truly, my name has changed because on Facebook, my name is Royal Odiwe. I changed my Odiwe to Eternal. And so, for a very long time, for probably over 2 years, I've not been able to change that. But it just got done 3 days ago. Now, I don't want to use that account to open my page, Speech Mechanics. I wanted to use a different number. And so I started with a different number yesterday, and the different number was telling me this pretty much the same story that Facebook gave to me in my previous account. You cannot use this name. Make sure this name is known to people around you and all that. So what I did today, I snapped that same ID card and sent. I am awaiting a response. I'm pretty much sure that before this week runs out, or before we get into next week, I should be should send a response, and I'm gonna come into limelight. So you see, you get to a point in your life. You get to a point in your life. You get a point in your life when you know there's something that awaits the world, and you're carrying that thing. And because you're not letting that thing out of you, you're making the world deficient. Until you let that thing. Sorry, I had a call coming. So until you unleash that potential out there, there's a whole lot of people that are going to suffer. A whole lot of people are in need of your skill, of your potential. And the only way to salvage the situation is for y'all to start making plans. Even right now, when you see the success stories of how people got to where they got to, and think, being that we are in the age of AI, artificial intelligence, the internet, in the 21st century, you begin to see that these things are pretty much easy. It's not like it used to be before. That is enough to propel you to want to get your to move from the state of inertia into action in fulfilling your desired goal, as it were, or your desire, as it were. So that is what I have to say as regards that. I hope that helped. I hope
Yeah,
that helped.
it could. Yeah, thank you, Mr.
When
Royal.
you have
Let's round up.
when you have a burning desire, you just cannot sit in one place acting. If it is not burning enough, if it's not burning enough, you're going to be docile. You're just going to be in a place. But if it is there, all you need is that 1% inspiration. And I usually get that most times from Mrs. Faith. In the midst of all of my activity here in the hospital and a whole lot of stuff that I do. Recently, do you know I just learned DOP, Director of Productions, camera shootings and all that? I learned it in December last year. In December last year. I'm doing there's a whole lot that I'm doing. So now when I watch a movie, I just don't watch to listen to how these people speak, how they pronounce. If me and Faith right now, if we are watching a movie, Faith is watching a movie to see all the actions and all the satire and all that in the movie, but I'm watching to see how these people speak, number one. But now, because I have acquired the skill of a professional cameraman or what we call cinematography, because I've acquired that skill. If I'm watching a movie right now, I'm looking at the shots, how the shots were taken. We have off-shoulder shots, we have close user shots. I'm looking at all that as I'm watching. So it has kind of refocused my attention and given me a different way of looking at things. When you acquire knowledge, it gives you a different way of looking at things. So you see, that is what Brian Tracy is bringing to us tonight, giving us a whole new perspective on how to approach life and make the best out of it. Thank you so much, Mrs. Faith, for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Royal, for your time. It's been an amazing journey. You have to be hungry, guys. You have to desire it. And knowing fully well that there is something within, all right, that's crying out for expression. You don't just have to allow them to sleep, guys. It is time to step into action. It's time to do the work. So we're going to be bringing Mr. Royal again and again to our speaking and writing book club. He's going to be sharing so much about speaking. I know that there are a lot of us that need this accent reduction. I'm number one. So we need it. He's going to be coming around to share light on how we can do that. So he's going to be doing all the watering for the clay, the things he has mentioned already. He's going to be doing all of those refining for us to ensure that we get better. If you also need a professional help, you want to reach out to Mr. Royal, maybe on a one-on-one level, all right, I can connect you to Mr. Royal. Maybe you need help, professionally speaking, and you want him to coach you, please know that it is not free. You can reach out to me. I'll connect you to Mr. Royal. You can also reach out to him on Facebook. Like he said, his account is currently enabled. All right, Mr. Royal, it's Royal Eternal, right? On Facebook now.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. Okay. So that is it. Let me see if there's any question in the comments. Amy says, amazing ends, usually having rough beginnings. If you can sail through those difficult times of rejection, you will have an awesome breakthrough. Beautiful. All right, Ogbonna Patrick, it seems you came late. You would have to watch the replay of this empowering session. All right, so there are no questions in the room. It's been amazing. The book title, once again, is The Six-Figure Speaker by Brian Tracy. It is currently in the e-library. You can subscribe to our e-library to have access to all our books. And you can also join the book club system so that you can be accountable. Remember, we're looking at the ACI model this year. Accountability, we are committed to execution, and we're intentional about our growth. So if that looks like what you're looking for, to be able to do the work, be intentional with your growth and be able to scale and take your life to the next level, then you have to join us in the system. All right. So, Mr. Royo, I'd like you to give your final thoughts, your final words. I know you have shared a lot. Maybe just a line or two so we can wrap up for tonight.
All right. If I'm allowed to speak, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Let's see what I will have to say the same thing. The same thing I said before.
Okay.
Do not be afraid to shine. Do not be afraid to shine. Do not be afraid to shine. Because the sun doesn't give a shit if it blinds you.
Doesn't give a shit.
If it blinds you. So there you
I
go.
love that
There you
line.
go.
I'm going to commit it to memory. Do not be afraid to shine, guys, because the sun doesn't give a shit if it burns you. So go
If
shine
it
to your
blinds you.
world
Yeah.
and have a lovely night rest. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. Mr. Michael Bona will be live tomorrow to talk on the area of leadership. So make sure you show up in class. And then we're rounding up on Sunday. Finally, we're rounding up on Sunday with Ma'am Redempta Kanja on the subject of purpose. So make sure you show up. And on Sunday, make sure you come with your graduation uniform and all the different attires. Thank you for your time tonight. It's been awesome. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a lovely night rest. Bye for now.
Bye for now. Goodbye. Good night.
Bye.